Come into the circle of love and justice. Come into the community of mercy, holiness, and health. Come, and you shall know peace and joy. I am Dorothy Brown, and I welcome you to this virtual worship service of the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Because we cannot meet in the church building, there have been program changes, including new programs to strengthen and serve members and friends in this time of physical distancing. Every Sunday, there's a virtual coffee hour following the service from 11:30 to 1. Please read news you can use and other updates you receive from the church, and watch the website for changes. Please note the times when the minister is available via Zoom to check in and talk. Please send your joy and sorrow via the link in the email you received and indicate whether you give permission for it to be read at next Sunday's service. If you are a visitor or a newcomer, I invite you to explore the website UCHBG to learn more about the church and its many activities. To all of you, I say, whoever you are, wherever you live, whomever you love, whatever you do for a living, you are so welcome at the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Today will be a service of words, of poetry put together by J.D. Stillwater and me to bring you into the new year with thoughtfulness. This pandemic is our opportunity to renew our spirits, our point of view. It is our chance to walk into the new year with slower steps, a more contemplative vision. May the poems we read help you on your journey.
Our chalice lighting this morning is a poem by Lucille Clifton titled, "Won't You Celebrate With Me?" I invite you to light a chalice at home or a candle or whatever you choose to serve as your chalice at your home this morning. Won't you celebrate with me? She writes, won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up, here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come, celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. In place of our normal unison affirmation, this morning I'd like to read a poem by Liz James. Liz is a lay preacher, a UU from Saskatchewan, Canada. She's also the founder of the UU Hysterical Society, a group dedicated to Unitarian Universalist comedy and hilarity. I think mostly on Facebook. This poem is untitled, and it's also not comedic, but I think very appropriate for this morning and for this time in history. You are not on call for the pain of the world. I know you feel every hit of the hammer beating plowshares into swords and people into plowshares. And every time you fail to step between the blow and its target, the injustice is sewn into your bones too. And so, when the hammer rises, you must rise with it, raising your voice, your eyes, your awareness, your body, whatever part of you that can be given as an offering. You cannot stay this way forever. Sewn to the cacophony of blows, every movement of yours a follow, until your body is owned by the drumbeat of the raising of weapons, until your days string together in a stuttering heartbreak of rage, and you cannot catch breath. But this is what you promised to those who don't get to choose whether or how to show up for the fight. To those whose very bodies thrust them into the ring, you promised that you would hold nothing back. I know, except you cannot be on call for the pain of the world. It is not work that can be done without sleep. When we said that people are too sacred to be beaten into plowshares or swords, we meant you. We need you for this fight. And we need you for all the things that are less and more than fighting. We need you to be ready to listen in the soft way earth listens to rain in the hours before dawn. To be tender, to cradle precious things, to hold the smell of dew in your hair, to hum the song that flowers will rise up through the earth to hear. I need you to stay in love with the world.
Our current poet laureate is Joy Harjo. She's the first Native American to fill that role. Because she's a Native American, she shares her cultural view with us. It rather resembles our seventh principle. She gives us the gift of seeing ourselves not as an isolated person crouching alone, but as a crucial part of everything. Remember, by Joy Harjo. Remember the sky you were born under. Know each star's story. Remember the moon and know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mothers struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life, and her mother's, and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are, red earth, black earth, brown earth, white earth, yellow earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of the universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing in you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
Today in this congregation, someone is hurting or in sorrow. Today in this congregation, someone is anxious because of events in the world. Today in this congregation, someone is lonely. Today in this congregation, someone is filled with joy and wants to celebrate. For all the fear and sorrow in the world today, there are still moments of joy. Ross Gay wrote succinctly of sorrow and joy, love and trust in his short poem, Grace. He writes, "One day your father begs, cinched to the steel of his bed by cloth restraints against which, pulling, he begs you to take the tube from his throat. The next, a hummingbird, a green and gold iridescence, invisibly winged thing, blurs into almost your hand to sip the small nectar inside the small blooming thing there."
Instead of a sermon today, we have our second annual series of poetry readings. Reading today, in addition to JD and me, will be Jessica Chukalowczak, Jim Hanshaw, Kate Quinby, and Lois Voigt. The poem I'll read reminds us that if we want to change the world, we need to consider deeply the way we raise our children. We need to raise them with more open minds, to take more responsibility, to care for all things. May We Raise Our Children by Nicolette Sauder. May we raise our children who love the unloved things, the dandelion, the worms, the spiderlings, children who sense the rose needs the thorn and run into rain-swept days the same way they turn toward sun. And when they're grown and someone has to speak for those who have no voice, may they draw upon those wilder bonds, those days of tending tender things, and be the one. The next reader will be Jessica Chukalowczak.
This poem is titled Pandemic by Lynn Unger, dated March 11th, 2020. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling. Give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, Reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live.
It has been said that only poets and comics speak the truth. I have chosen a poem by Maya Angelou in which she touches my soul, describing her journey facing adversity, finding her own self-worth, and courageously going forth to action in her writing and poetry. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high. Still, I'll rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't take it awfully hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wonderfully clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I rise.
I first heard Marjorie Sazer's poem on the Writer's Almanac. I like it because it's both amusing and touching to think of these elderly sisters out in a snowstorm en route to one of their houses to play cards, just as they've been doing for 50 or more years. My Old Aunts Play Canasta in a Snowstorm by Marjorie Sazer. I ride along in the back seat. The aunt who can drive picks up each sister at her door, keeps the Pontiac chugging in each driveway, while one or the other slips into her overshoes and steps out, closing her door with a click. The wind, lifting the fringe of her white cotton scarf as she comes down the sidewalk, still pulling on her new polyester Christmas stocking mittens. We have no business to be out in such a storm, she says. No business at all. The wind takes her voice and swirls it like snow across the windshield. We're on to the next house, the next aunt, the heater blowing to beat the band. At the last house, we play canasta, the deuces wild even as they were in childhood. The wind blowing through the empty apple trees, through the shadows of bumper crops. The cards line up under my aunt's finger bones. 8s and 9s and aces straggle and fall into place like well-behaved children. My aunts shuffle and meld. They laugh like banshees, as they did in that other kitchen in the 30s, that day Margaret draped a dish towel over her face to answer the door. We put her up to it, they say, laughing. We pushed her. The man, whoever he was, drove off in a huff, while they laughed till they hiccuped, laughing still. I'm one of the girls laughing him down the sidewalk and into his car. We're rascals, sure as farmyard dogs. We're wild card players. The snow thickens. The coffee boils and perks. The wind is a red tray because, as one or the other says, we are getting up there in the years. We'll have to quit sometime. But today, deal, sister, deal. Stephen Dunn writes of family mementos to which we cling long after the loved one or even the actual object is gone. Briefcases by Stephen Dunn. 15 years ago, I found my father's in the family attic. So used, the shoemaker had to repair it, and I kept it like love until it couldn't be kept anymore. Then my father-in-law died, and I got his, almost identical, just the wrong initials embossed in gold. It's 40 years old, falling apart. Soon there'll be nothing that smells of father love and the difficulty of living with fathers. But I'd prefer a paper bag to those new briefcases made for men living fast forward, or those attaché cases that match your raincoat and spring open like a salute and a click of heels. I'm going to put an ad in the paper. Wanted. Old briefcase, accordion style. And I won't care whose father it belonged to if it's brown and the divider keeps things on their proper side. Like an adoption, it's sure to feel natural before long. A son without a father, but with this one briefcase carrying a replica comfortably into the future. Something for an empty hand, sentimental the way keeping is sentimental, for keepsake, with clarity and without tears. Mary Oliver has long been a favorite of mine. In this poem, the trees speak to us, giving advice for how we humans should live in this world. When I Am Among the Trees by Mary Oliver. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness, I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself in which I have goodness and discernment and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. It's simple, they say, and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine.
Good morning. This month marked the 99th anniversary of my dad's birth. And so this now rather old poem was on my mind as I was trying to prepare for today. In 1982, Dan Fogelberg's song, the leader of the band, was in the top 10 and playing frequently on the radio. Though my dad was not at all musical, I'd recently moved to Oklahoma for my first real job. And I penned most of this poem as I was driving down an only semi-busy road while listening to Fogelberg's song about his father. It's a simple piece, so to decrease my own face time that I don't enjoy, I've provided a few pictures for you to go with it. My father's hands. They started working early, those hands, guiding the reins of a horse-drawn plow at dawn, picking corn for $1 a day during the Depression. They used to fascinate me in church back when I was too small to see over the pews. I would examine them closely, my fingers wandering over cracks and crevices filled with the residue of where the hands had been the past week, the past year. The dirt under the nails had long since turned to cement, and my attempts to separate it from the hands failed.
They threw me high in the air by the stove in the kitchen at the end of a hard, cold day. I squealed as my head stopped just short of the ceiling. They showed me how to put a worm on a hook. They held us when we were tired. They spanked. They made stilts out of wood from the old chicken barn and whistles from reeds. They pointed out the oil drain plug on my '69 Rambler. When I was small, I worried they might pain the man, rough as they were, like mine did when they were chapped, red from the snow and cold. Sometimes I wish they could be different, cleaner, softer, like the preacher's, so they wouldn't snag his Sunday suit, his only suit. But one winter they did get clean. The cold didn't chap them. The calluses disappeared and even the cement dissolved. It wasn't good. I was glad when they got dirty again. The hands helped me through college. They were there at graduation. They said goodbye when the diploma provided a job many miles away. Those hands never wrote me a letter, and their owner spoke few words. But I wish I could see them today, those hands so far away, to hear what they have to say.
Another poem by Ross Gay. I simply love his work. If you have a chance to look him up, you won't be disappointed. The title is Sorrow Is Not My Name. No matter the pull toward brink, no matter the florid deep sleep awaits, there is a time for everything. Look, just this morning a vulture nodded his red grizzled head at me, and I looked at him, admiring the sickle of his beak. Then the wind kicked up, and after arranging that good suit of feathers, he up and took off, just like that. And to boot, there are on this planet alone something like 2 million naturally occurring sweet things, some with names so generous as to kick the steel from my knees. Agave, persimmon, stickball, the purple okra I bought for $2 at the market. Think of that. The long night, the skeleton in the mirror, the man behind me on the bus taking notes. Yeah. But look, my niece is running through a field calling my name. My neighbor sings like an angel, and at the end of my block is a basketball court. I remember. My color's green. I'm spring. Even as you are separated and sitting in your own homes today, the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg is still a freely gathered church of free people. The church is created, sustained, and supported by you. The ministry continues even when the building is closed. For the month of December, the plate collection will go to the Susquehanna Harbor Safe Haven. I love how those 4 words in their name spell out shh. Susquehanna Harbor Safe Haven is a residential facility offering support and stable housing to men who are or were chronically homeless. It's managed by Christian Churches United of the Tri-County area. The program offers long-term housing within a supportive community for up to 25 formerly homeless men in Dauphin County. The program is designed to help chronically homeless men, those living on the street for a year or more, many of whom are also dealing with mental illness, to get off the street. Once in a safe, stable environment, they work on goals related to income, employment, life skills, physical and mental health, and in many cases, addiction. New residents live in dormitory-style housing. Upon achievement of specific goals related to income and stability, they become eligible for one of 10 private rooms. Over time, it's their goal to help the men, when able, to move to their own apartment or other permanent housing. There's a link for contributing to today's plate collection in the video description below. You might have to click on the words "show more" in order to see the link. That same link is in the email that went out to UCH members this morning. Your financial support and commitment matter. Please be generous.
You are not alone. You are blessed to be a part of all of us, a part of everything. Go into the new year with a sense of hope, of joyful expectation. Go with your heart open. Go with your arms flung wide. Amen.
When the night is falling, shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. When the night is falling, shine your light on me. I'll be by your side. When I hear you calling, I will come to you. I will come to you. I will come to you. When I hear you calling, I will come to you. I'll be by your side. When I'm lost in sorrow, give to me your hand. Give to me your hand. Give to me your hand. When I'm lost in sorrow, give to me your hand. I'll be by your side. When the people cry out, raise your voice with mine. Raise your voice with mine. Raise your voice with mine. When the people cry out, raise your voice with mine. I'll be by your side. When my time is over, sing for me your song. Sing for me your song. Sing for me your song. When my time is over, sing for me your song. I'll be by your side. When the night is falling, shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. When the night is falling, shine your light on me. I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side. When the night is falling, shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. Shine your light on me. When the night is falling, shine your light on me. I'll be by your side.